fun, big news.
Well, fun big news, but should be kind of nervous for you because you signed a legal document today not knowing what we bought.
That I did.
What was your first impression of that? That you're legally buying to what we bought, which is not cheap. You legally.
I'm feeling a little like you talked me into something shady.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling like.
We invested in a multi-level marketing.
Trust me, it works.
You just get 10 friends, and those 10 friends recruit another 10 friends.
And it just goes up from there.
Yeah.
Look.
Pyramids are some
Is
of the
that a
strongest.
pyramid?
Pyramids are some of the strongest structures that have ever been created.
There was a reason. Are you just going to sip from that? It's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice. It's really nice. I don't know why we don't adopt that into the Western Hemisphere.
I just love it. Harper's like, here you go, some tea.
There you go. I like that a lot.
If you do it Harper style, you have to drink from your cup and then pour it into her cup with your mouth.
You got to put it in your mouth and then spit it. Mama bird it back into a cup.
Mama bird it back into the cup.
Out of there. It's so gross. So we just got done about an hour ago. We got out of the escrow company, title escrow company, and we closed on a house.
We bought a house
that you've never seen.
That I've never seen before.
I've seen it twice. And
you did have to go back a second time because the first time you said no.
Yeah.
This is too bad.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me. Knowing that the first time you saw this house, you're like, I can't even do anything with this.
You know how, here's the thing. When we walked into it, I looked up, I usually, when the last two houses we bought, I have a terminology that I use. That's not the same terminology as other builders use, but it's whether or not a house has good bones.
Which a lot of people.
And good bones to like.
Fixer-uppers do that.
Yeah, fixer-uppers. The good bones terminology to them is, are these bones like stable? Like, is there mold? Is it sinking? Is the roof leaking? That's a whole different interpretation of.
Do I have to do minimal like wall like restructuring? Just
correct.
Take down a wall here, but do we have to, expand it or
not
raise
even that?
The roof?
Well, not even that. Good bones usually means in like layman's terms to the general public is it structurally sound?
That's good bones.
And when I walked into that place, and now my definition of good bones is different than that. My definition of good bones is, can I do something with this space to transform it? Can I open up a wall? Can I, can I relocate some stuff? Can I do some rearranging? Are the ceilings high enough? Is there enough, blueprint to work with?
Right. Minimal change to the layout if you can.
Yeah.
But you walked out of that. I remember you're like, I saw a house.
And it was very quickly too, by the way. It was the shortest time I've been in a house.
Because you just wanted to get out of there?
No, I was like, this is not the one. I can't
you just
see.
Knew.
It's literally and you've never stepped foot in this place, but it's literally the kitchen is like, I'm talking about kitchen and where you would put an island is the width of this office.
So it's very small.
I mean, you can't have a kitchen countertop and then also put a dining room table.
Yeah.
It's
so you gotta figure something out.
So I walked out of there. I was like, this is not the one.
And then.
And I was so definitive about it.
And you were. You told me. I remember you coming home because I think you might have looked at a couple houses that day, and you were very sure. You're like, it was just that bad. It couldn't even I remember you saying, I'm pretty good about seeing potential in homes, and I couldn't even see any potential. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I believe it was the next day, maybe a couple days later.
2 days. I think it was 2 days later.
You were sitting there and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to go see that house again. And I was like, what?
Yep.
The house you told me that you were so sure was not the one. And I think you had slept on it and kept thinking about what you could actually do.
Yep.
And that potential started like seeping in, and you started like realizing I guess there is something I could do, which is like a good sign because it means it was on your mind.
It's
kind of scary, but it's on your mind.
It's so hilarious to me how optimistic you are about this.
You know why? Because I don't have to live in it.
That's a very good point.
That's the number one.
That's a very good point.
If I had to live in it, I would 100% say no, just based on what you've told me about this house.
What's funny is that, by the way, this is, if you listen to was it the last episode that we spoke about the mold infested house that we were going to buy?
If you haven't listened to that, we've been through, and you're like, whoa, buying house.
Yeah.
Go listen to the episode before this one. We talk all about our process and how we came to this step of buying a house to fix up and flip eventually. We also went through another house that we were in the process of closing on. Anyway, didn't end up working out. Go listen to it. It's a great episode. So this house was the first one you looked at before the one after that we were about to close on. Didn't work out. Lo and behold, that fell apart. What, a couple days later, maybe a week later? Probably a week.
No, you got to give it 2 weeks because we had multiple companies come out to give bids on.
No, I mean after we decided to pull out of the house, it was probably like a week later that this house
came back on the market.
Yeah. And if you listen to the episode, we talk about how Alex decided, wait a second, I kind of feel like maybe this might be a missed opportunity. We should maybe think about like getting this house. So you went back and looked at it.
Yeah.
And you decided that you could do something with it.
I had a vision for it.
Yeah. Anyway, we talk all about this. This house we ended up missing out on because you cannot get a traditional mortgage loan on it because it's such in rough shape.
Yeah.
And the major issue was a roof, right?
It's caving in.
What did we do, honey?
We bought a house that a bank said there's no way we could sign off liability on this, and then we figured out a way to have a cash purchase on a house that the roof is.
Okay.
We bought a house that the bank said this is an unlivable estate.
We can't even give a loan because this is so bad.
The banks won't take a risk on it.
Oh my gosh, what have we done?
Hey, thanks for watching our Next Door Neighbors podcast.
And be sure to capture the full episode anywhere podcasts are streamed and including our YouTube channel, Next Door Neighbors.